Greetings guys and gals, this is XIJABERWLKIX bringing you the best in esports. Today we have Starcraft 2, the Collegiate Star League or CSL 2v2 match. This is going to be CSU versus Rochester Institute of Technology, set 3. CSU is actually down 2-0 in this matchup so far. At the bottom left we have, or at the bottom positions I guess you could say, we have the CSU team, me at the right hand side. At the left hand side we have the Zerg player Riptide. I'm going to be playing Purple Protoss, of course. At the top left we have Boogyman, and at the top right we have Icarus as the Protoss player. Boogeyman's going to be playing in Terran, and yeah, so they're going to be playing for Rochester. My probe scout's going out, and so of course whenever I do my own cast I do more of analysis more than anything. If we look at harvesters, everyone's pretty much even at this point in time, sending out scouts. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a Baneling Stalker Sentry type thing. He's wanting me to scout both for some reason because he doesn't want to send out a drone to do that, so I'm going to scout both bases. Going to see that gateway going down for Icarus, and Boogeyman putting down his barracks as well as getting his gas. We see that Riptide has been scouted by the SCV, and over here my probe's trying to get that probe out rather from Icarus, chrono boosting probes all the way. We do have a gateway going on for me as well. Still pretty much even in harvester count. If we bring up the production tab, you see that Riptide has gone for a early expansion, something along the lines of a 16 hatch, and now is getting his pool up. So going for a very, very big econ game, which is really, really risky in 2v2, as a lot of people know who play 2v2s. A lot of the strategies are all rushes. But the Zerg can definitely do this just because Zerg is Zerg. Zerg and Zerg is way overpowered in 2v2 in my honest opinion. But that's just me. That you can just get so many Zerglings with roaches, and it's just terrible. This probe scout still scouting out this base. Might get picked off by this Marine, unfortunately. It looks like I might get away, and no, don't get away. My probe ends up dying. Stalker's now coming out for Icarus. This hatch almost up, and I was, even before this game, I was set on a 4-gate push. I actually think I'm going a little bit more sentry heavy. Sorry for the FPS issues. Nothing too bad though. Fraps does cause some FPS issues, but overall I think it's a very, very good program. Usually nothing too bad happens with me, at the very least. I know Diggity was having some problems with that. Anyways, warp gates going up for both Protoss players. Zerglings coming out for well, we're coming out. I don't know where those Zerglings. There's those Zerglings. Came out for Riptide, and now he's getting Queen and his metabolic boost. Not much action going on for either team. Looks like we've picked up both. Oh no, Boogeyman's picked up the right Xel'Naga Watchtower, and the Riptide has picked up the left one. And we're going to go scout this out, try to kill off anything that's on that Xel'Naga, so we can take both of them fairly easily. Looks like trying to pick off this SCV as well as kill off this SCV at that Xel'Naga Watchtower. Stalker coming out, and now I have almost, looks like I have 3 gates up. Warp gate technology almost up. If we go back to the income, we see the harvester count, and Icarus is actually ahead, has the best income besides Boogeyman. Boogeyman obviously with these mules there, he's gonna be having an income boost just for himself, and I think the FPS issues are all because of the harvesters. Whenever you look at harvesters and stuff, that's when the FPS issues really, really arise, just as you saw there. But now my forces are going to come, and we're going to secure this Xel'Naga Watchtower, this Overlord, in sight almost of that one. So if he moves it just a little bit forward, he's going to be able to see what's going on. Going back to the production tab now, we see that stim and +1, very, very early +1 for the Rochester Terran player, which is very, very peculiar. And now this base is completely up and running. I believe that I've got my 4th gate out making Stalker Sentry, a lot of Stalker Sentry forces. We do see that probe going down to that position, and I'm going to have to flank it because I don't want that probe in there. I don't want it making a pylon, anything like a proxy pylon. I want that probe to definitely die. Here comes the forces of the Rochester army, and they're going to take that Zelnog Watchtower, killing those Zerglings. Riptide's going to have to pull back, and we're going to have to put on some defense here because that +1 is almost done, although he's getting ground carapace, so he's definitely on top of his upgrades. And 16 more Zerglings coming out, finally morphing my last gateway into a warp gate. I think pretty soon-ish here I get my my second base. Not entirely sure when that happened, but I know I did go for a second base. And at this point, we have Banelings morphing, and these are going to be so crucial because this army is mostly light infantry, as you can see. But besides those Marauders, there's a lot of Marines and Zealots in the mix. If I'm able to pick some of those stuff off with my Stalkers, Sentries are going to come in huge if I can do force fields and block them off from any type of retreat. Here comes the engagement happening as these reinforcements get in. After the reinforcement get in, I'm positive they're going to move in because I've already seen this game. Pylon morphing in the midfield so we can reinforce fairly quickly. And here comes the attack from the Rochester team. I back up. I see how many forces there are. Some of the Zerglings come in. Here come the Banelings. Force fields going off everywhere. Terrible camera control by me, but everything just getting absolutely destroyed by those Banelings. And a lot of the infantry go down. More units streaming in for Icarus. I'm using a force field, doing a very nice job of massing up a lot of Stalkers. He's going a little bit more Zealot heavy, seeing how many Stalkers I actually have. More Zerglings coming in as well, and they're going to be able to definitely take care of this. The Queen wants some action also. Needs to be very, very careful. Might actually get picked off. That would be absolutely terrible. And right now we're on a little bit of a defensive play, and this is very, very, very tentative. More forces streaming in for Icarus, but it looks like these Zealots are going to be able to pick off pretty much everything. If I do a little bit better micro, Zerglings coming out for Riptide as well, but if I had a little bit better micro, these Zerglings are going to be able to surround the Stalkers with the speed upgrade, warping in more Stalkers and just absolutely owning that army. So now the Rochester team is on the defensive. I have picked up this base. It is up and running. Have not yet transferred probes. Probably doing so just now. Transferring possibly a little bit more than I really should have. I guess that's okay. Not too much. But now I'm going to be able to pick off this pylon, and the Rochester team just now getting their bases up. Obviously, Boogyman has his expansion up and running, so that's going to be very, very good for him. But the Protoss player, a little behind. He opted to go for a robotics facility, I believe, and there it is. And now we have a Spire Tech going up for Riptide. So here comes our forces. Zerglings kind of lagging behind. I scout it out, pick off a Marines, see exactly how many forces are there, stimming up a little bit too preemptively, unfortunately, and that's going to hurt him, especially because he doesn't have any medvacs. But we obviously want to counter, morphing a ton of Banelings, 16 Banelings coming out, and so this attack is going to happen once all these forces come in. More units warping in from me. I really should have put a proxy pylon like right there or something, but unfortunately I didn't do it at that time. Here we go. Forces coming in, just reinforcing, and macroing up, making sure we have our expansion secure, getting my third gas rather, and possibly my fourth gas. Nope, not yet. Just kidding. We have the centrifugal hooks going down for the Zerg player, so he's going to be able to run in there with the Banelings very, very fast. And this army composition, very, very weak versus Banelings. There's a lot of Zealots, a lot of Marines, not really that good versus a Baneling Zergling Stalker army, which is what I was thinking. This is exactly what we were thinking, and we're executing pretty well comparatively. Here comes the forces for CSU, going to be attacking. Force field's going to trap in those units. There goes the force fields, and Stalkers coming in to reinforce. Shield going up for the Rochester team, but there's just too many Zerglings in the area. A lot of Stalkers to clean up anything else. One medevac, probably going to be able to get picked off. He did make an immortal, but it's not really going to matter at this point. Zerglings absolutely destroy immortals, by the way, if you guys were wondering. And there's absolutely no army. GG from Boogyman, so that's the game. And we could have done a lot of things better. Probably could have just done a little bit of macro. Look how much energy there is on there. I probably could have chrono boosted some of these warp gates. I did end up getting a robotics facility. Could use better saturation there and not really using my energy to the best of my ability. And if we look at the mineral count, oh god, wow. I have a ton of minerals. That is just kind of embarrassing that I have that many minerals. But overall, very good game. And we ended up with the win. I'm going to spoil it for you guys because I don't have the other replays. I'm not going to cast those other games. We did lose 3-1, so this was our only win. We had our 3v3 or our 1v1 players, all three of them lose, unfortunately. So, anyways, that's that, guys. And if you guys like it, please subscribe. Please give me a like, and I'll keep trying to do better with the map control. Just hard going from Brood War cast to Starcraft 2 cast, and I know why Diggity doesn't do it. I don't know how Mole Trap does it, because it's very hard actually to control this camera and pick up all the engagements. But it's a lot more fun, I think. It's a lot more fun to have control of the camera and not just sit there commentating. Anyways, that's that, and I'm out of here. Lates.